Dramatic hearing of the January 6th committee where they voted to subpoena former President Trump and showed new video of Speaker Nancy Pelosi fleeing to safety, hunkered down with other congressional leaders, making urgent calls for help as the riot escalated. Chief Washington correspondent John Carl has the story. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. The January 6th committee concluded what is expected to be its final hearing with a subpoena and a challenge for the former president.
Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
In a direct challenge to Donald Trump, the January 6th committee voted to subpoena him to answer questions under oath about his actions on and before the day his supporters attacked the U.S. Capitol.
We are obligated to seek answers directly from the man who set this all in motion.
The move came just after the committee presented riveting new video from January 6th. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi showed fleeing the mob that was already inside the Capitol building, whisked to a secure location with the other congressional leaders.
We have got to finish the proceedings or else they're going to have the complete victory. Did we go back into session?
We did go back into session, but now apparently everybody on the floor is putting on tear gas masks to prepare for a breach. Well, I'm trying to get more information.
They're putting on their
Tear gas masks.
Raw footage was shot by Pelosi's daughter, filmmaker Alexandra Pelosi, an incredible window into this moment of history, as lawmakers called Trump administration officials to plead for help.
Yeah, why don't you get the president to tell them to leave the Capitol, Mr. Attorney General, in your law enforcement responsibility? A public statement they should all leave.
Republican congressional leaders, including Mitch McConnell and Steve Scalise, are there too, as Pelosi calls Vice President Mike Pence, who had been evacuated to an underground loading dock beneath the Capitol.
We're trying to figure out how we can get this job done today. The overriding wish is to do it at the Capitol. What we are being told very directly is it's going to take days for the Capitol to be okay again.
Later, Pence is heard on speakerphone, giving Pelosi an update. Congress could soon reconvene to certify the presidential election.
And I'm at the Capitol building. I'm literally standing with the chief of police of the U.S. Capitol Police. He just informed me what you will hear through official channels. Paul Irving, your sergeant at arms, will inform you that their best information is that they believe that the House and the Senate will be able to reconvene in roughly an hour.
Vice Chair Liz Cheney made the committee's closing argument that Donald Trump, above all, was responsible for what happened.
The central cause of January 6th was one man, Donald Trump, whom many others followed. None of this would have happened without him. He was personally and substantially involved in all of it.
The committee played video of longtime Trump advisor Roger Stone before the election, saying Trump would declare victory regardless of whether or not he actually won.
I really do suspect it'll still be up in the air. But when that happens, the key thing to do is to claim victory. Possession is 9/10 of the law. No, we won. You. Sorry, over. We won. Yeah. You're wrong. You.
And at 2:30 in the morning on election night, that's exactly what he did.
We were getting ready to win this election.
When the Supreme Court refused to hear his final legal challenge, Trump was livid. He didn't want people to know that he had lost.
He had said something to the effect of, I don't want people to know we lost, Mark. This is embarrassing. Figure it out.
After the hearing, CNN showed more video by Alexandra Pelosi, part of a forthcoming HBO documentary, her mother reacting to Trump's speech on January 6th.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol,
saying he would join his supporters in marching to the Capitol.
Nobody comes, I'm going to punch him out. This is my mom.
I would pay to see
I've
that.
been waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out, I'm going to go to jail, and I'm going to be happy.
Trump said he would respond to the subpoena this morning. He has issued a lengthy statement. It complains about the committee's hearing, calls it a witch hunt. It even complains that not enough attention has been paid to the size of the crowd that turned out on January 6th. But he does not say whether or not he will comply with the subpoena. George?
Okay, John, thanks very much. Let's bring in our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, for more on this. We're going to get some answer from Donald Trump later today. In the past, he suggested he would want to testify live. I don't buy it.
There's no way he can answer the questions that they want to ask, right? Let's start with that. There is simply no way.
Truthfully.
Well, look, he can't even go there. I mean, because think about it. When you're under investigation in this many different investigations, any lawyer will say there's no way you can begin to answer questions. Right, and under oath. No way. But the question is, what sort of twist is going to happen now? Is he going to throw an offer back at them? Is he going to say, I'll show up for this, but I won't for that? I mean, look, when it comes to a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, you have to be very careful, right? Because you can't pick and choose which questions you answer. He can't show up and say, all right, I'll answer questions about this, but I won't answer questions about that, because you've then effectively waived your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. So there are issues that make me think, gosh, I'm so curious to see exactly what he's going to do.
And of course, the clock is working for him, because if the Republicans take control of the House next year, the whole committee is suspended.
Except, let's point out one thing. If there were a criminal contempt charge, that would survive a Congress, right? So you're right with regard to Congress's role, but if the Department of Justice gets involved, it doesn't matter who's in Congress.
We had a major development this week, Washington Post reporting that Donald Trump, according to this aide, directed this aide to move documents. We see surveillance footage of the documents being moved. Very significant development. Does it up your analysis of the chances of him getting indicted?
Absolutely. I think this is the single most significant development we've seen in connection with the document case. Why? Because it relates to a post-subpoena action, right? So there's now been a subpoena. It relates to Donald Trump specifically, and there's video.
It's all about obstruction.
And that's the heart of the document case. So it's not about the retention per se, although that could be an issue. The greatest legal threat to Donald Trump is about the possible obstruction. You now have a witness, a reluctant witness, by the way, who comes forward and is saying Donald Trump instructed me to move those documents after the subpoena. It's getting tougher and tougher for the Department of Justice not to move forward with an indictment.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much. We're going to have more analysis of all this Sunday on This Week. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.